squeeze some time on Sunday afternoon to be here. My name is Charlie, co-founder of COCO AI. This is our very first US offline event. We hopefully we can organize this every couple of weeks, right? Today we want to talk about our journey. It's a short and humble, small journey, but hopefully this is the beginning of something great. I want to talk about the enterprise AI. So it's a long title. This exact title I shared in AWS, Hong Kong. That was 3 weeks ago. That was a much bigger event. We had 200 people there. Talk about building AI application for enterprise. It's very new for me. My background, who we are, right? So a little bit about myself. I'm a Bitcoiner. I'm a proud Bitcoiner. I've been holding Bitcoin since 2012. I'm still holding some Bitcoin. Some of Bitcoin I will never sell in my life. It's a legacy for myself. I was early involved with Ethereum, early involved with Polkadot. I brought them to Asia. I know Web3 Foundation very well. I was the interpreter across the Asia tour events. I built the Polkadot Asia ecosystem from 2017 to 2020. And DeFi summer came, I moved to Ethereum. Very fortunate to join a very fast-growing ecosystem called Polychain. I have my former colleague Ming here. She's in the back. She was my boss. She's the global CMO, and I was leading the China and South Asia for APAC ecosystem. 2021 feels like a decade ago, right? That was, still remember this thing called NFT, right? Raise your hand if you know NFT or maybe part of 2022, right? End of July, NFT NYC was a very interesting week. That was a top. That was last cycle, right? Metaverse was still a thing, not anymore. AI actually started. I think ChatGPT started kind of 2023, right? In the middle of the bear market. I started a Bitcoin infrastructure project called Billion. That was the end of 2023. And at that time, we were already using AI, like ChatGPT. We already know about machine learning. My CTO already was doing some research about it. I wish we used AI way earlier. We could easily save 10 million R&D cost in the last 3 years. So we raised almost 30 million, led by Polychain, Franklin Templeton, a lot of tier 1 VCs. We built one of the biggest Bitcoin L2 infrastructure. We made 15 million revenue. We had 1.2 billion TVL, over 300 ecosystem projects. We were hyped, very, very hyped, especially 2024, when we were announcing on the Series A announcement, right? In Fortune Media, Franklin Templeton decided to lead our round. We got a lot of attention. And by doing that, we realized a couple of things, right? Building infrastructure is hard. How to save cost is a fundamentally big topic we want to deliver value, right, with AI right now for a lot of enterprises. So about our team, we had a very big shift of team. So we had almost 100 people. Literally 12 months ago, we had almost 100 people. We were laying off people with the help of AI. So we were like day one user of Cursor, day one user of Claude Code. We started vibe coding pretty much the entire team since Q3 last year. When Opus 4.5 came out, my co-founder gave me a reaction, Charlie, we need to seriously speed up our layoff because the output of Claude Code was so good. What took our junior engineer almost like an afternoon, right, to build the code, it took the Opus 4.5 maybe just like 20 minutes. And it's actually as good as that, with very little communication costs and so on. So for us, it was like, okay, this paradigm shift is going to happen bigger and bigger, and bigger than we thought. And the total addressable market of enterprise AI could be bigger than we thought. So we started actually building a side project. So COCO started as a build side project. We started as a vertical AI solution. We were trying to help enterprise to hire talents faster and easier. So we use AI to screen resumes, ask FAQ questions. We had like 20 small media enterprise clients. And then after that 20 clients, we had a few interesting conclusions. AI is getting so good, a lot of companies not going to have a lot of human employees anymore. They're going to hire AI agents to work for them. It's going to be pretty powerful, general purpose, useful employee for the enterprises. So we pivoted from helping enterprise to hire human to bring AI agent solution as an AI employee to enterprises. That was weeks before OpenCode came out. So raise your hand if you heard about OpenCode. Anybody? There's a half of them, right? OpenCode was invented by this developer from Austria called Peter Steinberg. He was a quite successful entrepreneur, right? He built this PDF product company. He sold for 100 million. He was kind of retired for 3 years. He was so bored and then started actually learning what is Claude Code. It took him like just a weekend to build this bytecode of this OpenCode thing, right? Obviously, one man band, right? Bytecode for a weekend. Of course, there's a lot of issues like security, vulnerability, and all that. But it made history, right? It took Linux 14 years to get that amount of star. It took OpenCode only less than 5 months. So it's clearly shows some signal. AI is getting to the level of massive adoption. At least start to get a lot of attention. For us, it was easy. It's an easy conclusion. Like we need to focus on that. And because we built an AI agentic framework called Cyrus, when we launched 3 weeks before OpenCode, like my CTO Harvard, when we launched it, we were nobody. Nobody cared about it. We don't know how far this can go. We barely have any stars, like less than 200. Now we have like more than 6,000 now, without actually big marketing. So we would say we were lucky because without OpenCode, we probably would still only have 300 stars, and nobody would actually care about us, right? So it's like riding on an interesting wave. Attention is here, but the solution is bad. OpenCode is pretty bad, right? Did you heard about it? A lot of people queued up for the Apple Store buying this stupid hardware called Mac Mini, right? Like some people paid $2,000 the next morning because the API tokens cost them like a fortune. All these things, for me, I think it's completely bullshit. It's a bad side effect because of a bad product. But we have to give respect on Peter, right? I actually met him in San Francisco during the very first OpenCode event. So that's kind of how we started. Okay, so the team background, a lot of them from the AI background now, we hired 70 people. Our CTO used to work in ByteDance and Google and SenseTime. SenseTime is it was like a top 4 AI company in China. Majority of team members now in Singapore, where they are A1 Singapore company now applying for the grants. In case you don't know about Singapore, it's a very tiny country, right? South Asia, very clean, very safe, pretty boring. But important thing to know is it is the most trusted, the most highest adopted AI market actually in the world right now. The ratio of people who know about AI using AI agent on a daily basis is the highest in the world right now. There's a couple of reasons, maybe another time to talk about this. But if you walk on the street in Singapore, everybody kind of talk about AI right now. Every single Starbucks, every single event, they have OpenCode events every 2 or 3 days. Or sometimes like 5 events. It's crazy times of 5 OpenCode events a day. So that's like the amount of high, I wouldn't say it's high, like real attention is there. For us to have that is interesting as well. Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, like all the Mega 7, Facebook, right, all the top frontier AI labs, all have an APAC team based in Singapore. It is probably one of the most important places if you want to do anything meaningful in AI, at least in Asia. So talk about what we build, right? So we're not selling just the software. We want to bring AI teams, multiple agents, to the enterprises, which work for you 24/7, covers a lot of middle office kind of work. So the 3 key products, right? One, as I said, like we launched Cyrus. Cyrus AI, it's our open source agentic framework. It's a better memory management AI agent operating system. We believe it's better than OpenCode. We have been tested by a lot of people. The key issue with OpenCode, to get a deep dive on technical issues, when you start using OpenCode, when you have a large context window, some critical information will be forgotten, and they will be forgotten many times. So it is quite a bad experience for any business people to use AI agent in the business setting. So that's the key problem we want to solve on the agentic runtime. So now, since we launched Cyrus 1.0, we already upgraded over 60 kind of version. Every day we have a new version coming. So like now it's like pretty much Cyrus 2.0. The second product we built, which we believe at least we are the first wave in the world. Maybe the world's first, it's at least the top 10 in the world. We built this multi-agent correlation protocol. So your OpenCode A cannot communicate with OpenCode B. We built this HTTP Connect to let multiple agents to work together, to communicate together, to actually check the work with each other. For that to deliver a better result for human. So that's kind of the fundamental feature to reduce the human-in-the-loop ratio. Everybody talk about autonomous, co-pilot, all that, right? Humans are still needed in the workflow, but the percentage you need, right, it's not 50%, it's not 50%. In our case, it's 5%. Hopefully, we can reduce to 1%. Human only is needed in initiating the tasks to give critical feedback and decision making, and that's it. The rest of things, you just wait for AI agents, multiple of them, to work for you, right? And it's cloud, so that's kind of our positioning. We don't really work with government. We obviously don't work with sensitive departments like CIA, FBI. We don't work with big Fortune 500 or big banks because they're going to require private deployment, local deployment. It's going to be very heavy kind of work, right? We focus on knowledge workers and small medium enterprises. And I think, especially AWS, let's just give them, it's not a benefit, but let's say they are the legit mega server, right? They haven't really bad performed in the last 2 decades, and it's a very mature cloud computer technology. So we work with AWS, with their proud interesting partner. We work with Google as well. So yeah, that's kind of where we are, right? So P3 products, and we have some small community products. Cloud is interesting tool. It's a good Chrome add-on. You can just select whatever file and let AI to fix that for you. Right? No matter it's actually slides or website and so on. CloudFeed is a pretty simple tool. For me, like for people like me, I don't want to spend 2 hours a day scroll all the Twitter and everything, right? Because we have this fear of missing out. Like, oh, so many important information are missing. I need to keep scrolling. It's like addictive. No, I don't have 2 hours for that. So this is a thing to give you very clear, summarize what happened last 24 hours with the kind of key watch list on Twitter. And this is kind of, this is our production mode, HSA Connect app. Currently, I already have 56 organizations, over 274 bots working. And this is our real production mode interface. So our organization have currently 37 bots connected. We actually have more than 50 bots we manage. Some of them we don't connect them yet. So what you're seeing is Zyrus 0T communicating with Zyrus 300. So they're kind of talking to each other, working with each other. This interface can be embedded into your Telegram, WhatsApp, or all the other social media channels, Slack as well. So that's basically our architect, right? All the AI labs are here. I call this engine, right? Without a really strong engine, you don't have a car. You don't have a pretty strong car, right? Claude Code currently the best AI model in the world. Obviously, Codex, GPT 5.5 is pretty good, and then a bunch of other Chinese social, open source models getting better and better. So that's the engine, right? Very healthy competition. We work with the best of the best. We don't build the engine ourselves. What we build is the 2 layers above. The self-driving vehicle, right? The agentic OS framework. Without that, your engine doesn't drive for you, right? You kind of need to have a proper AI agent to do the work for you, not just being another search engine. So that's one layer. The 3rd layer we believe is more important, which is this called fleet dispatch, right? So multiple self-driving cars need to coordinate them well. It's almost like a smart city system with hundreds of Waymo, right? Driving around your city. You need to have a central system to manage them. It's almost like a CEO have a God's mode monitoring system to understand every single agent in your company, how many tokens they consume every day, how many tasks they deliver every day, right? So that's kind of our system. From solo agents to agent team, and why COCO, I think 4 reasons. Normally I just talk about 2 reasons, right? Our Zyrus agent is pretty good in terms of memory management, and we deliver the best AI model for you, right? We curate, we have actually pretty good economic cost, and it's a flat fee model. So I think it's also good to talk about who are actually using that agent on a daily basis, and what are our customer user base. I talk about this all the time. So it literally can be every single industry with fear of their jobs will be eaten by AI. And it's happening everywhere. And this is happening literally while we speak. In Singapore, in New York, in Miami, this is my 4th city, right, in this US trip. I was in Vegas, I was in San Francisco. San Francisco is a different thing, right? They are already AGI. So we talk about other cities. A lot of people in New York, when I went here in February, they were already in the panic mode. Now it's like, maybe not even panic, it's like, okay, let's seriously thinking about what kind of AI solution I need to use to improve my workflow, to make it AI enabled. And another focus is very straightforward. We need to help a lot of small, medium enterprise business owners, right? In our region, especially in the mid-tech industry, such as gaming, e-commerce, or digital marketing, and so on, there's a lot of small, medium enterprise business owners. They have been struggling to, stay competitive. Right? The cost is pretty high. They have, let's say, 80 people, whatnot. They still need to. They're struggling to find new clients. These are the kind of people we want to focus on, right? A lot of departments in meetings, they have been struggling because of lack of digitalization, automation, and so on. We start growing since by February. Now we have around 500 paying customers. That's just some example clients from university, knowledge workers to digital marketing company, gaming company, and actually quite some crypto influencers use us as well. They need us for digital marketing, some content creating, and so on. Some media such as COCO and Box just checked out recently. Our ecosystem. So these are the people we're working with. So basically, COCO is their clients, right? We use GitHub. We already got the SOC2. We're going to get that guy soon. We got invited by Stripe on AWS a couple weeks ago. Stripe is actually changing the world in terms of agentic payments. We think they are actually doing the very correct thing. So we're working with them in day one. And I think all the frontier AI labs, especially Anthropic, is changing the world as we speak. So that's kind of our traction. Around 500 agents now. Case study. It's nothing fancy. It's actually just a lot of middle office stuff, right? From sales management to operation automation to due diligence. So a lot of actually investors, background people use us to monitor all of the assets across stocks, tokens, and so on. We have some like shipping company, manufacturing company use us as well to connect their existing ERP system. So it's a general purpose way. A lot of use cases are already listed out on our page. We have way too many, 1,001 use cases. Obviously, a lot of cases we probably don't use that every day. And today I will talk about growth, right? I talk about that in AWS. Maybe it's a different setting now as we are in New York. But this is fundamentally the same. No matter it's AGI or now AI agent, it's still about delivering service to people. No matter it's B2C or B2B, right? Building awareness, building acquisition, and then activating them. And I think this still matters. I shared that with a few other people a couple of weeks ago in my talk. We have to start with something that doesn't scale, right? To make sure we fully test out our user journey, how we can convert them, how we can grow. Where we are is on the left, right? We're doing something that doesn't scale to make sure we're doing the correct thing, not just keep burning our budget. Once we test out the whole growth channels and funnel, we can do things in a scalable way. And this is kind of the chart about the landscape. On the left was what happened in the last 2 years, last 2 decades, right? Salesforce, HubSpot, all kinds of enterprise solutions, right? A lot of them actually went public on Wall Street. They had automation workflow software. Now it's getting to Copilot, right? The Copilot is not just the Microsoft Copilot, actually all kinds of AI agent solution. We are the Copilot as well. Human is still needed in the loop, but the ratio is getting from 50% to less than 2%. I think we're getting there. That 2% is important though. Our design philosophy is not get rid of human completely. There's some people kind of saying that, AGI, autonomous, human is not needed, right? 0% company. I think that's too far stretch, especially a lot of industry. Human will be needed, but in only critical decision-making, high-stake process in terms of initiating tasks, making very important decisions and give feedback to agents. So that's kind of where we are in the middle. The things, the scale, everything happened literally the last 3 months. Been doing a lot of talks and following this principle, right? In the AI world, okay, so software is no longer a scarce thing, right? Engineers are not going to be needed. So what is still important? Attention, right? Liquidity and the consensus. And attention probably is the most important thing, at least for startups like us. Content marketing is still the most important important thing to leverage yourself without overburning your marketing budget. So we have our podcast, right? If anybody wants to share anything about AI, welcome you to join. That was a co-founder, that was the CEO of Failsafe, and we have a design director join us in the third episode. I'm going to visit top law firm tomorrow in New York to give a podcast as well. So, obviously talk about law. Last 40 days, I got over 100,000 views in my WeChat clips, and we're getting there in YouTube. YouTube is pretty hard actually. YouTube is pretty hard. We'll try on all the shorts and TikToks. New customer outreach, right? So this is something to was very important. So I use them myself. We use COCO to build our own customer support and outreaching kind of agent. It's basically a custom-made CRM system, right? By leveraging my existing LinkedIn connections. So I have around 8,000 LinkedIn connections. I download the CSV file and I tell my COCO agent, okay, give me the best ICP profile. I'm working on the profiling. Give me 20 verified leads. What are they looking for? Why their company need AI solution to do what? And custom made a message to that person, he or she, receive that, and make sure it's actually well documented. In the beginning, I actually sent by myself, 20 messages a day. Now I basically have to connect with my agent and let them to send automatically. It's actually not that bad. So to deconstruct that process, right? It's a data agent, profiling agent, obviously follow up, and report agents. So what I'm getting every day, 9 a.m. is basically the results, the click rate, and what's happening, in terms of all my potential prospects. What they're saying on LinkedIn and other social media channel, or how the company are doing, and anything I need to work, be paying attention to. So this is another example, utilized by one of our local clients. So Synopsys, they actually now pivoting to a new brand. It's a pretty established, they've been there for 12 years. A Singapore regtech company, regulation technology company, right? So what they deliver is a compliance technology solution for enterprise to figure out, can they pass the KYC, EML, to get the compliance on certificates and so on. What they use us is operation, sales, and compliance database agents. So they use our Ultra Plan 3 agents to work on this together to create this workflow of knowledge, the regulatory knowledge and workflow, and give all the clients the daily compliance news and all kinds of outreaching reports. This will take them probably 12 people full-time to work on. Now it's literally just 3 agents. Obviously with some human in the loop kind of feedback and all that. So they actually built their own CRM system without any coding background. None of them actually coders in the company. They were actually a pretty consulting-based compliance tech, right? So this is kind of how they're using us. And I kind of say that to a lot of companies we work with. I think with us, this is a very bare minimum low-hanging fruit. Use a COCO to improve your CRM. Everybody needs customers. Anybody wants to do sales. It's easy. We just start, and we have much more features. This is just the beginning, right? So that's kind of about it. What I want to share. I wish I had more time, and I'm actually more prepared. And there's like over 500 kind of different use cases, right? There's some use cases a bit proprietary, which I can't really share because it's my clients' privacy information. For people who wants to know more about it, obviously I'm happy to share off the record without the camera. So this is my WeChat and Telegram. We're hiring. We don't necessarily have a big team in the United States. We want it to be. We have 15 US customers now. Still in the beginning, right? Stay here until the end. I'm gonna give 5 COCO agent free discount code at Lucky John. So yes. Stay tuned to the end if you want to get free this stuff. And with that, without further ado, I'm gonna